Grandma's porch. Sit down, relax, and let's chat. Keeping it simple with Diana Brienne. Give your mind a rest when you have too much going on and around and around in your head. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. And, I think we all can get really, really busy. And sometimes we can feel like we have just too much going on in our heads. And for me personally, when I feel like I've got too much going on, sometimes I just take a break. Sometimes I just step back in my life and I say, you know what? I need to clear my thoughts out. I need to give my mind a rest. And I'll go for a run. I'll go for a walk. I'll sit on my front porch, my back porch, or sometimes I just go take a bubble bath or sit in my bed with a hot cup of coffee. But sometimes we have too much going on in our minds, and our minds can feel like it's rattling inside. And often mistakes are made when we don't have clarity and when we just feel overloaded, tired, exhausted, and have too much going on. And so for me, whenever I feel like I'm getting close to overload, I just back off. I go rest. I sit out here on Grandma's porch and I just relax. I don't even read a book. I'll just sit out here with a hot cup of coffee or tea and just, listen to nature. And so sometimes we just gotta, go and chill out and relax and let kind of things settle, or let things kind of settle. And that's what I do. I let things settle in my mind when I have too much going on. And in my busy life, going to college full time, being an artist, driving to and from my college an hour away, I have 3 young adult kids. I have a husband. I have a very busy social circle. I go to the gym. I go running. I just have a lot of things going on. And it's all wonderful. It's all good. And yet sometimes I can feel almost going into overload. And so I just back up. I stop. And I just go chill out for a little bit and let my mind just relax and wander. And often that's when I'm most creative. We're usually the least creative when we have too much going on or too little going on. But when we have that right balance in our lives, that's often when we are the most creative. So if you have too much going on in your head at the moment, perhaps take a little break, give yourself a rest, and go sit on Grandma's porch. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye. Give yourself time to adjust. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne, and I got to thinking today about how important it is to give ourselves time to adjust to new circumstances, whether it's a new job, whether it's a new place that we're living, whether it's a new circumstance in our life. Often people become impatient. They want to adjust to whatever the change is very, very quickly. And I understand that. And some of us adjust quicker than others. And sometimes there's circumstances that we adjust to quicker than others. And sometimes some circumstances take a little longer. If we start a new job, sometimes there's a big learning curve. I remember many years ago, I started this one job, and it was doing something I'd never done before. And it was something more technical. And boy, was there ever a learning curve. But I hung in there. And after about a month, I was so good at that. People were coming to me to ask for help. But there was a huge learning curve, and a lot of it was very frustrating, but I hung in there. I kept in there. And so I gave myself time to adjust. I believe that we have to give ourselves time to adjust, even if it's to something that has occurred, a change in circumstances. Often what we think is, we maybe didn't welcome in our lives at first. Sometimes if we have no choice, giving ourselves time to adapt and to adjust, often we can turn that situation to our benefit. And if it's something that we did want, but now we find like, oh my gosh, we're immersed in it and we don't know what to do, like we feel overwhelmed, give ourselves time to adjust. You know, this semester, as many of you know, I went back to college at age 62 last semester. And this semester, I'm taking a tremendous amount of courses. And I mean, some of them are hard for me. And yet, when I stepped into it, I was like, oh my gosh, what have I done? But I knew, give myself time to adjust, time to adapt. And I did. And now I'm all caught up. I'm doing terrific. And I'm very happy. I gave myself time to adjust to my new set of circumstances. Even though I had already started college last semester, my circumstances in this new semester were different because they were different classes with different expectations and different demands. And so it took me a while to adjust. Like I said, sometimes some people adjust quicker than other people, and that's okay. You know, if you're slow at adjusting, give yourself time, give yourself patience, but also realize that it's a learning curve and that you do want to hang in there if it's something right for your life. Now, if it's something that's not right for our lives, for me personally, I try to get out of it. I don't try to adjust to it. There's some things I don't want to adjust to if I can make the change. If I can't make the change, then to something I don't want to be, you know, as in a part of, or, you know, something perhaps that occurred and I don't want to be part of that, but I have no choice, then I find ways to adjust to it. But if it's something that occurred that I don't want and I can get out of it, I almost always will try to get out of it. And that's just my way of doing things. And so, but if it's something good, we really, really want to give it our very best and to take that time to learn it and take that time to be patient with ourselves as we learn it and as we adjust. So give yourself time to adjust. From my house to yours, God bless you. Please subscribe, and I hope to talk to you soon. Give yourself time to get to know and understand someone. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne, and I got to thinking about giving ourselves time to understand who another person is. And sometimes that can take a lifetime, and sometimes it can take a shorter time. But I believe that often people are never as they seem, good or bad, when you first meet them. There's so much more. We only see the tip of the iceberg. And often we try to jump in and give advice and give suggestions and do this and do that, or go to someone's rescue or not help them or whatever, when indeed we may be not right. Because what happens is we don't really know the situation. We don't really understand the full details. We're only skimming the surface. We're only getting at the very top. And I believe in getting to know a person. I believe in getting to understand them for better or for worse. Often people are so much better than they first appear. Often there's so much more to them than what first appears. And sometimes people are not as good as they first appear. So sometimes people are better. I always hope that people find out how much better I am after they meet me. And yet, I think people have to take time to get to know me. And likewise, I have to take time to get to know and understand someone else. Let's say we meet somebody on a bad day. They're having an off day. And we make a total judgment call on that person on that bad day that they're having. And they may turn out to be an amazing, fabulous, great person, and we're discarding them as the great person that they are based upon that one time meeting them. Likewise, somebody can smile and be so sweet and so nice to our face, and then they could turn out to be a really, really nasty person because we don't know them well enough. And so I always believe that people are often better or worse than what we're seeing when we first meet them. And so I believe in taking time. I believe in taking time to get to know someone. And I believe in taking time to assimilate all the information and what's really, really happening in their lives. Sometimes, you know, when people tell you a story or they tell you what's going on, they're only telling you part of it. And sometimes if there's a disagreement between two people, it's important to see both sides of it and get them together at the same time. If you get them together separate times, they're both going to give you different information. You have to go back and forth. I like to get people together at the same time so that I can find out what really, 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 really happened or what's really, 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 really going on. And so, yes, I believe in getting to know a person well before making a firm judgment. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye. Don't rely on other people's input to tell you how you're doing. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. You know, it amazes me how people wait to make a decision, or they wait to decide by going to other people for their opinion. Now, nothing wrong with going to other people for information, for help, for guidance. And yet, I think so many people are waiting for compliments, are waiting for validation of who they are before they give it to themselves. I don't believe in waiting for validation from other people to tell me who I am. I tell my own self who I am. And if someone tells me something negative and I know it not to be true, I just discard that because I'm focused on the positive of who I am. That doesn't mean that I don't acknowledge any flaws in my personality or try to work on those and improve those. Yes, if I have a flaw and I think it is worth working on, I'm most certainly going to work on it. And yet, I don't wait for other people to validate me. I don't wait for other people to tell me who I am. You know, so many people wait for a compliment. And sometimes that compliment doesn't come. And sometimes it comes down the line. So there's a lot of time wasted in that time period waiting for a compliment, waiting for validation. Sometimes the best validation we'll ever get comes from us. It comes from our own selves. You know, I like to hear compliments and I like to hear validation, and yet I don't build my life around that either way. Because what if I got some negative comments? Am I going to build my life around those negative comments and it stopped me from living my best life? Of course not. And yet a compliment is sort of like the icing on the cake. And something negative, well, sometimes I'll listen to it and see if there's any credibility to it and if there is what I can do to improve myself. And yet I never let it stop me, and I never let it validate me or take away my validation, because I'm the only one that can validate who I am and what I'm about. No one knows me better than me. And so I don't wait on other people to say, hey, great video, or I don't wait on other people to give me a thumbs down or a thumbs up. I validate myself. Even if I get a thumbs down, if I know that that video is good, I just ignore it, because everybody has their opinion. And a lot of people don't even like themselves, so why would they give me a thumbs up? You know? And so I believe in validating our own selves and telling our own selves that we're doing a great job when we're doing a great job. Don't wait around for the boss to tell you that you're doing a great job. Yes, it's great to hear it from the boss, and those, you know, that only adds to it. But if you know that you're competent and doing a great job, give yourself that compliment. Tell yourself what a great job you're doing. Don't sit around and wait for validation from other people, because you may or may not get it. And so give your validation to yourself. Give your compliments to yourself. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye. Go bigger instead of smaller. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne, and I got to thinking today about going bigger in life, getting what we really want instead of what we don't want. You know, so often when people make a request, they kind of are shy about it. They say, well, you know, can I have a little bit of something? Well, heck no, I want a lot of something good. Now, of course, I know protocol, and I don't want to overstep my bounds, and I don't want to take something that's not mine, that I don't deserve. And I don't want to take all the pie when I only should be getting one piece of the pie. I'm not saying that. Of course not. I think some people try to take the whole pie when they don't even really deserve one piece of the pie, you know. So, you know, what I'm saying is ask for what you really want in life instead of being shy about it. If I go to a restaurant and I'm looking at the menu, and even though I don't eat hamburgers, if I ate a hamburger, I would simply say, I would like a hamburger, and I would like it well done, and I would like onion, pickle, lettuce, tomato, and onion on it with a little bit of mustard and ketchup. So I would be specific in what I asked. I just wouldn't say, please give me a hamburger any which way you want to give it to me. No, of course not. I go big instead of small. I ask for what I want. And that's what I mean by going big, is going for what you really, really want. I would rather save up enough money for the car that I really want than to go settle for the car that I don't want if I don't have to. And it's like that with most areas of my life. I really, really want to go for what I really want rather than what I don't want. And I see so many people who are unwilling to ask, who are too shy about it, or just only ask for a little bit when they really could have a lot. You know, so often we can have so much more in life than what we are asking for or what we feel that we deserve. Sometimes we really actually have worked for something and we're afraid to ask for what we deserve. So, you know, if I didn't get paid right on my paycheck, I would most certainly, in a diplomatic way, in the right way, go to whomever I needed to go to, the payroll department, and say, hey, you know what? I didn't get paid the right amount. Now, if I'm mistaken, that's okay. They'll correct me. I don't mind being corrected if it's done right. And yet, I want to know. I want to make sure that I'm getting what I deserve. If I deserve that full paycheck, then I should be getting it. Errors do happen in life, and sometimes we have to stay on top of things to make sure that we are getting what we really deserve. And my philosophy in life is, why go small when you can go big? And so go big instead of small. From my house to yours, may God bless you. And I hope to talk to you all soon again. And I hope you subscribe. From my house to yours, talk to you then. Bye-bye. Why I love being a 62-year-old college student. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. Well, I'm getting ready to leave for class, and it's about an hour away, and then I come back home an hour. So it's a pretty long drive, but it's kind of a nice drive. I get to relax and listen to music, you know, and just kind of let my mind rest as I'm driving. And so I'm a 62-year-old college student. I went back to college a year ago, and I love, love, love it. I went back not for another career, but to be an eternal learner. I'm taking more than full-time classes, and some of them seem advanced for me. But I'm doing really, really well, and I love it. I love being a learner. And, you know, it brings about an energy in me that that I love. I love, you know, I love the excitement of going to college, of learning something, of improving who I am. I'm learning stuff that I'll probably never use, and yet I'm enjoying it. I'm learning. There's an energy about that. I believe in being an eternal learner, and that's what I am, an eternal learner. And I believe that at any age in life, we should give life our very, very best. For me, it was going back to college. For other people, it may be something else. For other people, it may be starting a new career or a new job, or joining a new volunteer group, or making new friends, or joining a gym, or whatever. And most recently, I joined a gym about 6 months ago, and it was a gym that I used to belong to, and I love, love, love it. I work out each and every day, although I have been working out each and every day for years and years. And so I love it. I love it. So often bringing something new into our life can be wonderful. And for me, being a 62-year-old college student has been awesome. From my house to yours, may God bless you. And I hope to talk to you all soon again. Bye-bye. Going down right roads. Going down a right road. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. You know, I make videos about just about every topic. They're my opinion and my opinion only. They're never advice or suggestions. I just did a video called Going Down a Wrong Road, or Going Down a Road to Nowhere. And this one is about going in the right direction in life, making right choices, right decisions, going down that right road of life. You know, even when we go down a right road of life, sometimes there's some bumps in the road. Sometimes there's detours. Sometimes there's weather that's not perfect or whatever, so to speak. And yet a right road is ultimately going to lead us to where we want to go. And so I believe in going down right roads by making right choices, right decisions, coming up with right plans. But it all starts with right dreams and right goals for our lives. And I believe that when we set a foundation in our life, we surround ourselves with positive people and a positive foundation, and we build up from there. We have something to anchor us during the more difficult and challenging times on our road to success of whatever we call success, or the right roads. And so, like I said, sometimes a right road is met with some challenges. Life can have challenges to it. That's just life, and that's just the way things can be. And yet, going down a right road, making right choices, doing the right things in life is really, really where it's at. And so, for me personally, I think about my choices. I think about my decisions, whether they're small choices, small decisions, or big ones. Now, granted, usually big choices and big decisions have a far greater impact, but small choices and small decisions can have a big impact over time as well, because small choices and decisions do add up, such as our daily habits. What kind of daily habits do you have? What kind of daily habits do you promote in your life? A lot of people wonder why their lives are not turning out so well. They're making great big decisions, but they're not making good small decisions. Small decisions do add up. Our daily habits do add up. I look at everything. I look at all of my choices from the smallest to the biggest and make sure that they're wise and that they're right for my life. And life is a journey, and we want to be on the right roads in life because the right roads will ultimately lead us in the right direction. Even though there may be moments on that road that may not always be easy, it's leading us in the right direction. We know that where we're going. Whereas some people take the easier road, which often is the wrong road. And I'm not saying that all roads in the right direction have to be hard, because they don't have to be hard necessarily, but sometimes they can be hard and difficult to get to where we want to go. Sometimes they can be easy, but often the wrong road is an easy road. It looks appealing in many ways, and people go down that for various reasons, but it ultimately leads to a dead end and not much happiness at all, if any. And whereas a right road, we feel happy on that road because, well, we know that we're going in the right direction. People who are on the wrong road are really not very happy most of the time because they know that ultimately what awaits them is not good. And so I believe in picking and choosing right roads for our lives, going in the right direction, making right choices, right decisions, both small and both large. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye. The pond is empty. Sometimes we have to find a new pond to fish in. When the well is dry, when the door is closed, and when the pond has no fish. Hello, y'all. I'm Diana Brienne. And I got to thinking today about when the pond is dry or when there's no fish that we want to catch in that pond. What do? Sometimes we have to go to a new pond. Sometimes we have to knock on a new door when no one is behind that door to answer it. Sometimes we have to go to a new well when that well is dry. If we keep going back to the well, we're not going to get any water. If we keep going back to the pond that has no fish, we're not going to get any fish. Or if we keep banging on the door and there's no one to answer it, it's not going to open. Sometimes we have to know when something is available and when something is not available, when we've exhausted it, when it's no longer applicable in our life the way it once was. Some ponds were full of fish, and at one point in time, they were completely full. And then, for one reason or another, that pond dried up. But if we keep going back to that pond in hopes that we're going to catch some fish, even though at one point we caught a lot of fish, we're probably not going to catch any fish. And so we have to remember that sometimes we have to move on in life. You know, I got to thinking about people who graduate high school. And when you graduate high school, you move on either to a job or to college. You don't keep going back to high school the next year, the year after. I've known some people to constantly visit their old high school memories, and to some small degree, that's okay. But when you begin to build your life around every reunion, instead of moving forward in your life, when you build your life around what was rather than what is or what will be, often that's when the pond is dry and the pond dries up. And so if you keep going to a pond that has no fish in it, you're not going to get any fish. Or if you go to a pond that doesn't have the kind of fish that you want, don't expect that you're going to find the kind of fish that you want. If you keep banging on a door and no one's there, it's probably not going to open. Sometimes we got to keep knocking, because sometimes it's just, you know, we just got to keep knocking until someone hears us. But we've got to make sure that there's someone on the other side of that door. And if we keep trying to get water from a well that's dry, we're not going to be able to get water. You know, some jobs cannot promote us. So if we're satisfied where we're at on that job, that's great. But if we want to be promoted on a job that cannot promote us, then sometimes we are better off to look for another job. And if we're in a relationship, it doesn't mean we throw a relationship away because it can't give us what we want. But sometimes a relationship has maxed out. It can only go so far. Some people can only give us so much of what we need. And so it doesn't mean we throw a relationship away at all. It just means that sometimes we have to realize that we can't keep asking for what isn't there, or what someone's not capable of giving us, or keep fishing in a pond that's empty. You know, some people just keep going back and go back when they've exhausted what was there, or what was used to be there is no longer there, or when they need to grow. Sometimes when we need to grow, we need to move on. For example, if we're on a job and it can only take us so high in that job, and we want to grow beyond that, sometimes we have no choice but to move on to a different job where there are the opportunities that we're looking for. And so I got to thinking just about the pond and it being empty, or not having the kind of fish in it that we want. Sometimes we're better off to move to another pond. If there's nobody that's going to answer that door, sometimes we're better off to move to a different door rather than bang on a door, knock on a door that no one's going to answer. Or if we keep going to that water well and there's no water in it, sometimes we have to find a new well. Doesn't mean that those things were not good at one point in time. It just means that sometimes those situations change, or sometimes we change and require more. And sometimes we can't get exactly what we want where we're at. If we're in a small town in the middle of nowhere and we want to be a movie star, we might not be in the right place. We may have to go somewhere else to get it. And so that's the way life is. Sometimes fishing in a dry pond may be fun, but you're probably not going to catch anything. Well, from my house to yours, may God bless you. And what a beautiful, beautiful day we are having. I will talk to you all soon again. From my house to yours. Bye-bye. Willing to travel for what you want. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. Well, my son and I were talking in the car as we were driving along and we were talking about the possibility of getting a dog. And I said, you know, a dog is just like any other relationship. It lasts a very, very long time. So you want to make sure that you get the right dog for your life that matches up with your personality as well. And he said, well, you know, maybe somebody close by has one that we want. And I said, maybe that could be a possibility. And yet sometimes in life you have to travel for what you really want. I said, it's sort of like marrying somebody. Would you just choose the person around the corner because they're available? Or would you be willing to go a very long distance to meet the right person for your life? And I said, sometimes we have to travel in life to get to what we want. I remember many years ago, I would travel a lot for my work, and I lived in one place and I had a job in another place, and the other place was 2.5 hours from where I lived. But I had a fabulous job and I loved where I lived. And so it was worth it for me to travel. And I coordinated it so that I would go in maybe twice a week at the 2.5 hour drive and work, and then stay a day or two, and then go back home, so that I had the best of what I wanted. I had where I wanted to live and where I wanted to work. Now, I could have accepted a job that was right around the corner of where I lived, but it wasn't any kind of job that I really wanted. And so I have found in life, no matter what you're choosing, whether you're choosing a mate, whether you're choosing a job, even if you're choosing to get a pet, you want to choose the right pet, the right mate, the right job, the right anything for your life. And sometimes we have to be willing to extend ourselves to something that may even be a little further away to get what we want, rather than accept just whatever is right around the corner. Now, sometimes right around the corner can be perfect. You know, we never know. And like they say, sometimes the grass is not greener on the other side of the fence. And I do understand that. But sometimes in life, we do have to travel to get to what we want. From my house to yours, may God bless you. And I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye. Good fear and bad fear. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. You know, I got to thinking about the subject of fear, and I got to thinking that, you know, fear can be used in the right way and for the right reasons. If a bear is charging at us through the woods, we have fear, and that's healthy fear, because we are going to respond to that bear by trying to get away from it in whatever way that's safest for us to do. And so fear is kind of a natural instinct in who we are as a self-preservation emotion. It protects us from harm. And so fear used wisely can be a good thing. But most often fear is not used wisely. Often it's used irrationally, or it's used in the wrong way. Often fear can be like the brakes on a car. It can stop us from our very, very best life. If we're always fearful of stepping out towards our dreams, our goals, our visions, or our solutions, often we will achieve nothing. There's always probably going to be a negative side to almost any good thing that comes about in life. And that includes a dream, a vision, a goal, and even a solution. And so a lot of times people let unnecessary fear stop them from their best life. The fear of, what are other people going to say if I step out towards my dreams? What will happen if I eventually leave my job for another job? Maybe I won't like the new people that I work with. Well, that's always a possibility. And yet, if we let that fear of the potential of not liking the new people that we work with stop us, we may stay with the old job that we're not all that happy with. So I think fear used in the right way to protect us and to guide us and navigate us in the right way is a positive thing. But I think fear used in the wrong way can hold us back from our best lives. So for me personally, I use fear to protect my life and to steer my life in the right way. But I don't let fear stop me from my best life. I move past fear into where I want to go that's right for my life. So I think that like I said, fear can be a good thing or it can be a bad thing, but often it's thought of as negative because I think most people use fear in a negative based way, which prevents them from everything good that they could achieve in their life. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye. Stop the gossiping. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. People who gossip. You know, we've all known them. The busybody, the gossiper, the person that talks behind your back, the person that has some information for you about somebody else. We all know those kind of people. And you know what? I don't hang around them because I don't gossip. Now, I like to know information. If there's something pertinent that's true and factual, or we think it's factual, I want to know that. That's not gossip to me. Something that can affect my life or something that someone else is going through. I kind of want to know that. And yet, if it's just purely done for malicious purposes, to stir the pot, to create some havoc, someone's bored and they want to talk about somebody else, I don't want anything to do with it. That's negativity, and I don't play into that. Gossip is a negative trait, okay? We're not talking about sharing information. That can be a very, very good thing if it's accurate information. But even that, we have to be careful to make sure that that information is accurate, that it's not messed up in any way. And so for me, I just don't like gossipy people. They remind me of Mrs. Kravitz on Bewitched, you know, and she was a lovable character, of course, but that was all in fun. But true gossipers often cause havoc and create havoc in other relationships. They often make up lies. They often spread untruths. They often spread misinformation. No, not for me. I don't want anything to do with gossipers. I hope you subscribe to my YouTube channel. May God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye. Take control of the steering wheel of your life. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. You know, I often hear people say, oh, let whatever's going to be will be. Que sera, sera. Well, you know what? I just don't agree. It's my opinion. They have their opinion, and everybody gets their opinion, right? And I respect other people's opinion, but that's not for me. I believe in taking control of our lives. Often people will say, let go and let God. Well, I say, let go and let God a lot. And I believe that when we reach a place and we have done all that we can to make something happen, I believe in turning it over to God. That's how I live my life. And yet I believe in doing all that I can to make it happen beforehand, and always ask for God's guidance all along the way. I believe that it's up to us to make our lives happen. And yet so many people take what I call the lazy way out and say, no, things will just be what they'll be. The future will be what it will be. Well, yeah, it will be what it will be unless you take control of the steering wheel, and it's usually not the way you want it to be. So I believe, I'm a firm believer in taking control of our steering wheel in life to make our lives happen the way we want. And sometimes we have to hold on tight to that steering wheel. Sometimes the road gets bumpy and we really have to hold on tight. Other times we can be a little bit more relaxed, but always alert to the road of life, and always have our hands on the steering wheel, because, well, we know what happens if we take our hands off of the steering wheel. The car goes to one side or the other, and that's usually not good. And if we take our foot off the brake, we can go too fast. If we put our foot on the pedal or don't put our foot on the pedal, we have to go at the right speed in life also. That's called timing. And I think I've done, videos on that in the past, having correct timing, having correct pace in life. And sometimes we have to tweak that, and sometimes we have to change that and modify that. And yet, remember, it's our decisions and choices that create our lives for the most part. And so if we take our hands off the steering wheel of our lives, often we either are just not going to go anywhere, we're going to go in the ditch, or just not much is going to happen. If we don't know the direction that we want to go in, and we don't go in that direction, we're likely not going to get there. Life takes work. I don't know why people think life doesn't take work. Some things take more work than others. And usually the bigger the success, the more work it takes. It's just the way it is in life. But I believe in keeping my hands on the steering wheel of life. From my house to yours, may God bless you. And I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye. Great decisions backed up with great action. Make great decisions and back them up with great action. Hello, y'all. I'm Diana Brianne. Well, we are having this absolutely gorgeous day out today. My husband and my sons are out there. Well, my husband's cutting down trees. And for safety reasons, we cut down trees in between all the other trees on our property. And then my sons bring over the logs, and that's what they're doing. But it's just a beautiful, beautiful day. And then what we do is we take the logs, or, the wood. It's really, they're not big trees, by the way. They're not like great big trees that we're cutting down. Then we take the trees or the pieces of wood, and then we build a fire in the fire pit some evenings. So we love that. And I got to thinking about decisions. And, people talk a lot about decisions. If you want to change your life for the better, you've got to make great decisions. But that's only step one. Okay, there's really 2 steps to the process. Step 2 is backing those great decisions up with great action. We can make all the decisions and choices and ideas in the world, but if we don't back them up with the right actions and great action, we're likely not going to move much in the direction that we want to go. So when I come up with a decision, I come up with an idea. Well, first of all, I come up with an idea, then I come up with a decision, and then I put behind that decision positive, right action. If I put a wrong plan behind that decision, then it's not going to turn out right. But if I put the right plan and the right action, implement that action consistently behind that plan, behind that decision, behind that idea, likely my dreams will come true. Whatever it happens to be, whether it's a new job, if I think, I really, really want a new job. Well, first of all, what kind of job do I want? What job do I want? And then once I've decided, am I just going to sit there and say, I really, really, really want a new job? Or am I going to put the necessary applications in for the right jobs? Now, if I put applications in just randomly to anywhere, I may end up with some jobs, but they may not be the right jobs. But if I'm specific about where I put those applications in, and I do a great job on those applications, and I'm prepared for the interview, and I'm prepared for that kind of job, I may get that kind of job. I may get that job. But without the action of putting those applications in, I don't care how great the decision, how great the idea, how great the desire of having a new job is going to be, if I don't take action towards it, it's likely not going to come towards me. I often believe that great things come to us when we go to them. And the other things that come to us without us going to them are usually not things that we want. And so I believe to have a great, spectacular life, we have to make great decisions, and then we have to back it up with great action. And then hopefully we achieve what it is that we want to achieve. Well, from my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. And we are having, like I said, a beautiful, beautiful day. Talk to you then. Bye-bye. May God bless you. Bye-bye. Support great habits. make it easy for someone else's bad habits or your bad habits. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. We are having a beautiful, beautiful day out here on Grandma's porch. It's just an absolutely gorgeous day. Got my 5-mile run in, and I'm working around in the yard a little bit. And I got to thinking about don't make it easy for bad habits, whether it's your bad habits or someone else's bad habits. You know, sometimes we surround ourselves with people that support our bad habits, or sometimes we support other people's bad habits. You know, let's say that we have a weight issue, a health issue, and that we have to really pay special attention to the foods that we eat. And yet we surround ourselves with people that go to the all-you-can-eat buffet, and or someone else has, you know, issues like that, and we say, hey, come on, let's go to the all-you-can-eat buffet. That's not helping them, or they're not helping you. I believe in surrounding ourselves with people with great habits and people that help keep us in check with our habits. Likewise, I believe in helping those that I care about keep their habits in check in a most positive way. You know, so many people just do not pay attention to their daily habits, and our lives are composed of our daily habits, what we do day in, day out. If you have bad habits, it could be ruining your life. And if someone else has bad habits and we're supporting them, we could be helping them run their life. And we don't want to do that, especially for people that we love. You know, when we say that we love someone, sometimes we've got to be the strong one. We've got to stand there and say, no, I'm not going to help you do something that is wrong for your life. You know, growing up, I remember people used to buy cigarettes for each other. Non-smokers would buy cigarettes for smokers. And, you know, I know a lot of people smoke and they may not like what I'm saying, but I personally don't think smoking is the best thing one can do for their health. And so I'm not going to go out and buy someone cigarettes because, well, they want me to. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say, I love you too much to do that for you. The same way with the all-you-can-eat buffet. You know, if I know that that's not going to be good for them, I'm going to say, you know what, I don't think that this is the best choice for you. It might be good for me, but it's not for you. So I'm going to forgo that. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to pull you into something that is not good for you. We don't want to be codependent on to other people's bad habits, and we don't want people to be codependent with us and help us keep our bad habits. We want great habits. We want positive habits. We want to surround ourselves with people that are doing positive things in their life. So remember, keep great positive habits in your life. Develop great positive habits in your life. Support people in the direction of great positive habits, and have other people support you in the direction of great positive habits. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye. Life is about growth. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. You know, so many people are stuck. They're really stuck, and they're not growing, and actually they're kind of retracting a bit. I believe that we're meant to grow. We're not meant to grow in all areas of our lives. Sometimes we'll grow in a certain area, and then we're finished with that area, and it's grown to its maximum that we can take it. And yet there are other areas that we begin to grow in. And so, like recently, I went back to college, and now I'm beginning to grow in that area. Even though I continue to grow as an artist and painter, I'm not growing at the rate that I did before because, well, my focus is over at going to college and focusing there and growing there. And then I'll probably get back to my painting and grow again in leaps and bounds. And that's kind of how life works. But I believe that we're always in a state of growing and flourishing, living our best lives and not being stuck. I always like to be an eternal learner. I always like to learn something positive and new. And so I believe that life is a growing process. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye. Are you growing or are you deteriorating? or deterioration? Hello, y'all. I'm Diana Brienne. You know, I believe that life is either in the state of growth or it's in the state of deterioration. Sometimes it will pause in between the two and have stagnation, but generally stagnation has to go one or the other. It either becomes growth or it becomes deterioration. Some people are deteriorating in their health habits. They just develop more and more wrong health habits. They're becoming more and more sloppy in their health habits, their financial habits, their relationship habits. And so they're on the road of deterioration rather than growth. Are you growing or are you deteriorating? And often we grow or deteriorate based upon our habits, our daily habits, our day in and day out habits. What are you attracted to? What do you read? What do you watch? Is it stuff that nourishes you and helps you to grow, or is it things that help you to deteriorate? You know, so often people surround themselves with sort of like soil. Good soil or bad soil. If you plant yourself in bad soil, you're likely to deteriorate. If you plant a healthy plant in bad soil, it's likely to deteriorate. But even if you take an unhealthy plant and plant it in good soil, it may begin to flourish. So plant yourself in good soil, good surroundings, good input, what you read, what you watch, what you listen to, your daily habits. Take care of you. Because so often people do not realize that what they put into their lives also comes out of their lives in some way. Take care of you. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I'll talk to y'all soon again. Bye-bye. Hang around happy people. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne, and I'm coming on here today to talk about hanging out with happy people. You know, I don't want to hang out with chronically unhappy people because their unhappiness rubs off. Often, happiness and unhappiness can be a choice. What people choose. And I'm not saying in all cases, but often it is. There's sometimes temporary unhappiness that's different. Sometimes there's momentary unhappiness. Life doesn't always go the way we want, and so sometimes we're unhappy about it. And that's different. But some people live their life in unhappiness and negativity. And I don't want to be around people like that. I want people that are trying to make the most of their life, even with their set of circumstances. Everyone gets something in life, and it depends on what they do with it. And, some people are going through a difficult and challenging time, and I understand that. And those people, I am there to support them. Whereas other people are not necessarily going through a difficult and challenging time. They're just in a lifestyle of negativity, and they choose to live their life with negative choices, negative behaviors, and a negative attitude. And those kind of people I don't want to be around at all, whether it's in the workplace, at church, in the neighborhood, in the family, anywhere. I avoid those kinds of people all the time. And I surround myself with can-do people, people who are positive, people who will lift me up, people who will encourage me in the right direction, people who can correct my mistakes, but they do it because they love me and they're also informed. So I surround myself with can-do people, happy people, positive people, people who will lift me up. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye. Happy people. Happy people do not make other people unhappy purposefully. Happy people want other people to be happy. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne, and I got to thinking about happy people. What is a happy person like? I believe that a happy person is a person who wants the best for other people, as well as for themselves. I believe that a happy person is busy being productive. Sometimes we can be busy but not productive. And so there's a big difference between being busy and being productive. Happy people tend to be productive in their lives. They have goals, they have visions, they have dreams. They want the best for everyone around them, and often they will help others succeed at what they want to succeed at as well. Unhappy people, on the other hand, often do not want happy people to be happy. Often unhappy people will sabotage the best efforts of a happy person because, well, they feel like there's not enough happiness to go around and they want some of it. And if they can't have some of it, then they don't want other people to have it as well. I'm not saying that all unhappy people don't want happy people to be happy, but often many of them do not want happy people to be happy. And so if I detect someone who's habitually, chronically unhappy, I determine, are they a positive person underneath and just going through some struggles at the moment, or are they a chronically unhappy person that doesn't want happy people to be happy? Because if we surround ourselves with unhappy people, that's going to rub off on us. You know, I believe that people have what I call spirits. I believe that we can enter a place and feel the spirit of the room. Now, a lot of people may think that's a little off center, and that's okay. I believe that places contain environments contain spirits, and I believe that there's the spirit of goodness, the spirit of negativity. I believe the spirit of anger, the spirit of jealousy. I believe that people have those kind of spirits around them, and I don't want to be around that. I want to be around people that are positive and that want the best for other people, because I want the best for other people. I even notice it on virtual media. Sometimes I'll go to a person's channel and I see it. It's very negative. It's all negative. You can feel it. And after you leave that channel, you kind of just want to go take a shower. And other people's channels, you feel so good after you've left that channel and while you're on it. And so I do believe that places and people have spirits around them, so to speak, the spirit of goodness, the spirit of kindness, the spirit of generosity, the spirit of love, the spirit of just all good. And other people have negative. And so I believe that I only want to surround myself with the people that are pointed in the right direction, that want the best for other people. Because remember, happy people want other people to be happy. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye.